a summary or a synopsis of what Islam is and its general principles. And he knew this was the last thing he was going to say to the Muslims as a whole. And how did he end this sermon? Those who are here, pass this on to those that are not here. For verily it may be that the last one that hears my message may understand it than those right here among us. He gave a command to those Muslims to pass it on, and for those Muslims to pass it on, and for those Muslims to pass it on, until there was no one left to hear this message. This was a command he gave, the last command he gave to this ummah as a whole. And then what happened? He pointed his finger to the heavens and said, "O Allah, bear witness that I have indeed conveyed your message." And upon saying this, what happened? Allah revealed the surah, "This day I have perfected for you your deen, and completed my favor for you, and chose for you Islam as your religion." And the last statement that Prophet Muhammad ﷺ gave to us before this was revealed was that we must pass this message on. He gave us that duty. He took that duty that was only reserved for prophets. No one else, no other. If you don't believe me, go read Surah Al-Bayna about what was commanded of the other nations. No other nation was given this opportunity and blessing to pass on this deen except us. Because there are no more prophets coming. So the job falls on our shoulders. Qurans are not going to fall out of the sky and hit people when they're walking down the street. This job has now become ours. And just like if the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ had not done his mission, he would have been accountable before Allah. If we do not do our job of spreading this message of Islam, we will stand before Allah on the Day of Judgment. Don't be the person standing before Allah on the Day of Judgment and your neighbor that you've known, your co-worker that you've known 10, 15, 20 years come and find you and tell you, you knew this day was coming. You knew this day was coming and what was going to happen to me, and you did not say anything to me. And those people will complain to Allah about us. They will complain to Allah about us. Because we have the truth right amongst them, and we're not giving it to them. We need to stop hiding it in our masjids, in our homes, in our hearts, and we need to give it to the people. It's beautiful, trust me. Just hand it to them. Just hand it to them. I promise you they'll take it, because it's something that is so pure and pristine. And now forgive me for probably going over my time, and if we have time, I want to leave some time for questions and answers. I will be outside to take any questions and answers. The only last thing I want to announce and let you brothers and sisters know is one of my biggest dawah projects is a DVD project that I do. And my goal is to put a DVD about Islam in the hands of every single person in the United States of America. Right now I'm working on Florida and I have other brothers working in other places because people will watch a DVD. We did studies on this, and people will watch media before they'll read a book or before they'll listen to an audio CD. And alhamdulillah, through these DVDs we've gotten, I would say, an average about 2 shahadas a month. Because my personal contact info is on the DVDs, and people watch them and they call me and I converse with them, and usually most of them accept Islam. I just had a shahada the day before yesterday from Irvine, Texas, from someone who had bought the DVD and given it, a Muslim had bought it and gave it to his friend. His friend hated it or didn't want it, so he gave it to another person, and that person gave it to a co-worker at work who watched it and accepted Islam. So this is one of my biggest projects. And the way this project works is I make 100 DVDs, and I brought 2 of them with me today. I'm going to explain what they are. The way this project works is I make 100 DVDs, and 75 of them go out to different dawah arenas. And the other 25 I make available for Muslims to purchase for 2 reasons: so that they can be, so that I can buy another 100 to make, and so that you can share in this ajr along with me. Because when you purchase a DVD that makes another DVD, or you give it to a friend, then you share in this ajr with me. And everyone knows that dawah is the biggest pyramid system because of the hadith Rasulullah ﷺ, that one who calls to guidance gets the same reward as the one guided, without that reward being lost from him. So I make these DVDs available to the Muslims so that you can put a little effort in dawah and make another 100 inshallah. So I brought 2 today, and they're outside. One of them is called Islam in the Bible, which is basically what I just told you in a PowerPoint format, so that you could see all these verses that I saw, all these things that I read that allowed me to see the truth of Islam very clearly when I saw it, and I coincide them with the Quran so that you could see them. And there's another one the other one's called The True Gospel of Jesus Christ, where I go through the New Testament. Well, first part I think is an interview about me and my story to Islam, and there's some other Q&As on the other DVDs about nature of God and all these different things. But it's a PowerPoint presentation about the New Testament and Jesus Christ, and how you can prove to someone that Jesus Christ taught Islam from the New Testament, from their own book, that they have to agree. They either have to believe it or reject it. And if you believe it, then you have to believe what I'm saying is true about Islam. If you reject it, then this is your book, not mine. So, I try to use these these two teaching methods, and they also can be given to non-Muslims because they're in a PowerPoint format. They're in a very educated format, and they're available outside for $10 each. So if you could, please don't make me take any of them back home, because they always hassle me about taking 200 DVDs on an airplane anyway. So please come and get them. And if you have any questions, my contact info is on there and everything. If you have any more questions for me, and my website and everything. I thank you for your time. And if anything has been of benefit, know that truly all good comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if anything that I have said is incorrect, or hurtful or shameful, know that indeed that comes from my own nafs and my own lack of understanding. أقول هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.